Well, what's up losers? It's me, Flask, or Dr. Bradley. Well, since I'm doing animation class in my school, I am kind of forced to make this video very early. If you haven't noticed, I've been making animations over a couple of years. It all began with that one video with, I would say, motion picture video, but it's very hard to know what kind of animation it is. It's just one still character, and then it changes over the time, you know. It's been used a lot. But we don't talk about that video. Whatever you do, don't watch that video, alright? Do not. Of course, this kind of animation has a little bit changed over the time. I have went from little still characters to whatever I had. For example, a little later in the animation department, I went on and make a little character animation of my hobo character. Anyway, it was still decent. It was decently animated. And then we went back down again and used those stupid stills again. Up until later, I made those little GIFs on the competitive video and the how to make video, I guess. I wish I didn't make that. And as time passed on further, I also made the very strange waifu video on Paladins, and kind of used the same thing, but I, a little bit changed the rotation of the characters every time it changes to another pose. It is kind of the same thing as the stills I used before, but then a little bit more animated. It's just streaming stuff. You can do that on pretty much any video editor that has the keyframing. It's not hard to do. But then, that was my favorite time of the animation. I went from a little bit animating little stills to actually trying to animate something. And that trying to animate something became How to Drogos. I have put almost half a year into making that video. Wish I didn't. I had that little dragon, the main dragon opening. You know what anime I'm talking about. The dragon main opening. I have made a parody out of it. It took me around 4 frames for each little character, made it into a GIF, put a green screen on it, and then multiplying it in the video editor. It was a little bit more effort than all of my other animations that I currently had animated, but it was still very easy to do. And so I made that animation with the Discord call with Daniel. Fun fact, I had the thing recorded, but the screen shit, it crashed. It didn't want to open properly anymore, so I had to delete it, and I used my Audacity recording. The animation was decent. The lip syncing wasn't half that bad, and I think the movements were a little bit lacking, but they were nice, I guess. They were smoothly enough to make the illusion of movement. Later on, I went from doing all of that animation stuff with the character to my animation class on school, and what we did is pretty much made animations in different kind of forms. We started off with that little, this little circling thing. You know what I'm talking about. It was really old, the old animation form. We started with that. Then we went on to flipbook. Problem with that, I have lost my flipbook. I finished it, but I think my house is a mess, You can't just expect some students like living alone to always have a perfect house. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Anyway, I lost that flipbook thing. It was, I think, a little bit more easier to animate than the little spinny around thing. Next one was Pixelation. I think Pixelation was a little bit more fun to make. But it's pretty much stop motion, you know, with Legos and shit, but then it's with people or objects and a little bit more wider and all of that stuff. It was kind of fun. You have this buddy of mine doing like some kind of It's Raining with Flipnotes. Next one was a little bit more fun. In my opinion, it was the cutout animation. Cutout, it was nice. It's super hard to do since you kind of have to get from the positions and all of that stuff in just one go. You can't just do the stuff like pose to pose. I guess you can, but it's very hard to do. I had used a app on my phone to pretty much onion skin all of the photos. It was super easy to do it like that way. A lot of classmates of mine drew the backgrounds and it came out pretty nicely, I guess. The next one was kind of very interesting. It's clay animation. It's so bad because we just made something and we just made something and we pretty much made up all the stuff on the go, so it's just a stupid ending and a stupid fucking solution to progress the fucking animation, I guess. So those were kind of the animations we've used. In the second part of our animation stuff, we're going to do 2D. I am looking a little bit more forward to that since I am doing 2D, you know? I'm a little bit more known with 2D than all of this weird clay and pictures. It was a great experience though. I just got to experiment with different kinds of animation styles. What was also on the list is pretty much still what inspired me or what inspires me inside of animation. I guess I'll have to go with the things I like in 2D. I think it's the most obvious one. JoJo really has put a lot of inspiration on me. I really took a lot of inspiration from JoJo, and I think it's very, very easy to see. I like how the parts are animated, how the scenes are animated, how fluid and how action the shots are. I really like it. DP really made something cool with the JoJo series. With some more 2D animations, I guess a little bit more in the less professional parts, I would go with James Lee. He's on YouTube. Awesome guy. He makes 2D animations, but he also has this kind of weird stuff with vlogging, but it's not quite vlogging, it's more like updating with a little bit of a movie viewish kind of video style. It is very cool to see, with also his art thing added to it, with all the colors and the contrasts and the backgrounds. It's cool, you know. I think when it comes to 3D animation, there are two kinds of things I like. Number one is Guardians of the Galaxies. I really like what kind of world they have made with 3D, and it is just awesome to see what kind of things they could do with just CGI. It's just amazing, you know. What else can you see about it? It's just amazing stuff to see. When it comes outside of CGI added things for big blockbuster movies, I would say Rango is my second inspiration to 3D. I really like the character designs in Rango. I really like the story progression. I really like the plot. It is really something cool. I like the mood they have set with all this washed out colors and this sandy look. It really looks nice. When it comes to not 3D animation, but like pictures and like pixelation, clay stuff, you know, I would say The Corpse Bride has inspired me a lot. I really, really love that movie. I think it's one of my most favorite movies when it comes to pixelation slash clay animation slash stop motion, you know. I think there was also something about like the part of little segments of each kind of stuff. I guess I have to do that too, you know? Why not? When it comes to 2D, I guess I have to pull a example from JoJo. I really love part 5. I love this part where Jono sacrifices himself. I really love the music and how it goes from one shot to the other within like an awesome transition. I love the colors. I love all of the things that really make the thing more interesting and intense. I think pretty much from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, every single fight scene is super cool. Everything is very intense and super awesome, you know? The final fight scene between the Quill and his dad Ego, it was super cool. It was very flashy, you know? With the music as well. Wham bam. You know, cool. Also the arrow scene with Yondu, really fucking awesome, you know? Also the ending scene with Yondu's funeral, it was also pretty cool. Example from Rango, I can't really think too many scenes that were very interesting. I think the most interesting scene was when the snake, Jake, I think his name was Jake, not quite sure, but when Jake just arrived, there was this menacing look and all of this snake movements with all the scales. It looked really fucking cool, you know? When it comes to James Lee, can't really think of anything as well. I can't really think of anything, like one particular thing that's really good. If there's one good thing, I would say it's pretty much the whole video of Overwatch Noir. I really love that. I really love that animation. Even though I don't like Overwatch, I love that animation. It is very cinematic. It is very, I would say, artistic. It's just very nice. A lot of colors, a lot of shots, a lot of forms of animation brought into one. It's just cool, you know? I think that was everything. I've covered Rango, of course. Oh yeah, of course, right. Remains of the Dead. That part of the song, that part of the movie is so great. It is all these colors and all of these nice looking things and all of these kind of movements and all that stuff. It is really great to see how everything just flows together and just works, you know? I'm not really sure if I'm going to choose animation as my direction of the school. I really like filmmaking and also want to a little bit go into learning how to edit my videos a lot better. So I also want to kind of keep the video aspects, but I will just have to see how that thing just turns out, you know? Anyway, that's all. I'm Flask of Sense, aka Dr. Bradley. Research in cancer, I don't know. See you later, losers.